This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. My name's Steve Weir, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager here at RTO 9, which is the Regional Tourism Organization 9, based here in Kingston. And with me here today is Yashy Murphy, who is a travel writer, a lifestyle blogger, and a social media consultant. She's an on-air personality and an editor and owner of Parenting to Go. So welcome, Yashy. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became involved with our FAM tour in southeastern Ontario this October?
Sure. Yes. Uh, I call myself a content creator because, as you mentioned, I have my hands in a lot of different pots. And one of the partners I have worked with over the years has been Attractions Ontario. So when this opportunity came up, they tapped me on the shoulder to see if there'd be interest, especially knowing that although I cover usually the family travel angle, I also have made it my mission to really understand and to learn about the Indigenous culture here in Canada. And as a new immigrant myself, and I use the word new, I've been here since 2005, but it's still a long learning journey for me. So when they tapped me on the shoulder about this opportunity, it made absolute sense. And I said yes. And yeah, one thing led to another.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about your experience at Cornwall and Akwesasne? I guess you attended October 25th and 26th this year. Uh, can you give me a sense of how your trip went and your experiences
Yeah.
that you had?
Absolutely. So I had never been to the area before. Everything was new to me. And so there was a lot of excitement, especially during this time, to share something new with my audience, right? Some of them had heard about Cornwall in particular, most of them hadn't. So trying to showcase like the variety of options there in terms of culinary, attractions, as well as really the college for me, that was a huge opportunity that I think that's there for the area to leverage. And I see that like that was definitely a highlight for me. Although the jail was a highlight for a very different reason. If anyone watched my Insta stories, they'd know why. So yeah, I think we got a taste of a variety of options that's on offer, even though it was a quick trip and we tried to do as much as possible. So yeah.
What one thing could we have done differently to make your experience more enjoyable?
Uh, Honestly, it was a great experience. I think the only thing which I'm sure you hear a lot on trips like this is just like a little more free time. But this was condensed, and to be honest, the timing worked perfectly for me. So had you made it longer to give us that a little more free time, that would have caused other issues. But if there is one thing I'd say, it is that it's just a little more free time to kind of roam on our own. In my case, I wanted to showcase the hotel and the pool, but it worked out well because I ended up having a gap of an hour before our train, and the hotel was generous enough, even though we checked out, to say, "Oh yeah, go have a swim, capture whatever content you want." So, but that would be it, really. Obviously, returning because there's so much more in the area to showcase and educate our audience is obviously next steps.
What maybe one experience stood out for you the most in the FAM tour?
Definitely the traveling college. I think for me, going into this trip was definitely one of the goals for me was to learn about Akwesasne, and I thought it might be a bit of kind of like a melting pot in the entire itinerary, but what ended up happening, I think, was very different experiences. And that's not to say that was a bad thing, it's just the way it worked out. So when we did go to the traveling college, like everybody was so passionate and so open to having discussions with us and just having really good conversations in terms of educating and learning. And I think that's definitely a resource that we need to share more of. I know for me, obviously coming from a family travel angle, that's something that I would really like to showcase, bring my kids. And yeah, some of those experiences are tailored towards adults, of course, but there is a lot that for different people and different interests that can be shared.
Absolutely. Would you like to be considered for other FAM trips for next year, perhaps? Would you like to come back to the
Absolutely.
area?
Yes,
Which
I would
area?
love to come back. Yes, I would definitely love to come back, especially with me. What I try to do is visit an area enough times where, you know, 3 or 4 times ideally over the course of a year, just so that I can write a really good long blog post that answers all the questions that everyone sends me in my DMs via social. In this on this project, we shared purely on social and didn't do anything on the blog post for this reason. It's just I don't feel like I have a full grasp to tell people stay here, eat here, play here, you know, learn here. So that's something that future visits to the area would definitely help me bring that content and have it be evergreen content that sits on my website, in addition to all the social shares that we've been doing.
Well, I want to thank you for your time for going through this debrief with me, and I'm going to share this with our friends at Cornwall and Akwesasne, and also share this on our industry channel. So thank you, Yashy, so much for coming and talking a little bit with us today.
Thank you for bringing me to the area.
Okay, enjoy your day.